What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to an episode of the Dossier. Today we are going to be looking at King T'Challa, and we're going to be talking about his model, what he does in the game, all that sort of great stuff. And I'm joined today by True.
Hey.
Hey. And the reason we're doing this one today is because we actually just got through our first game
Yes.
with King T and Mbaka. I'm also going to apologize for kind of like the unsteadiness. Unfortunately, I left my tripod, so I don't have that kicking around with me right now. So just using my Steadicam as best I can. So yeah, we're going to quickly talk about this one. And remember, guys, if you want to see more content like this, hit up patreon.com/AegisBrand or go to iwargame.net and use code AegisBrand to save 10% on your purchase there. That helps out the channel and keeps support coming in so we can keep doing this. So, Troop, you remember how this goes, right? We talk about the model and then do everything else?
Yes.
So, yeah, let's... Whoa. Okay. So, yeah, we got King T going on here. And you got any thoughts to start us off with?
I like that it's an action thing. I love the fact that it definitely looks like he's just charging wildly at at his opponents. In this situation, he's supposed to be taking down Killmonger and just absolutely laying him out to become king of Wakanda once more.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a little splash effect. I like the fact that he could be using claw or spear, but he's fighting one way or the other.
Yeah, it's very dynamic. I love it. I love the little kicked up water on the bottom of the base here. I think that's really kind of cool. Obviously, this does go with the Warrior Falls rival panels that came out. So it is designed to be used with that, but it's nice to see a base that's not a New York City street.
Yep.
Which is really kind of nice there. But yeah, I agree with you totally. I like the forward momentum of it. I like that it's a very actiony, dynamic pose here, and just in general, I think it's a very, very cool, well done model. Yeah. So as far as the card itself, because we now put these into the thing here, just keep this focused on the model here. So as far as the card itself, why don't you take us through his style line here?
Yeah, so he's 4s across the board for his defenses. He's 4 physical, 4 energy, and 4 mystic. He's got 7 health. He's coming in at 5 threat, size 2, and a long mover.
Yeah, and nothing changes on his injured side for that.
Awesome.
So really kind of nice. For his basic attack, we've got an energy attack Vibranium Spear, range 3, 6 dice. After it's resolved, it's your typical builder, so power equal to damage dealt. But then he's got some conditions. If the character that he's attacking is within range 2, you can reroll 2 of your attack dice. If it's outside of range, if it's outside of 2, and the character is size 3 or less, you can actually push that character towards King T'Challa, which goes really well with his leadership.
Oh yeah,
really nice.
His next attack is a physical attack, range 2, 8 dice, 4 power to use. It's got a wild throw, and then it throws size 3 or less and throw the medium. And after this attack is resolved, this character may advance medium. So it's like you throw them and you come right after them.
Yeah, no, it's actually really, really cool. I like that sort of mobility, that medium advance. Like, he is very mobile.
Yeah.
Very mobile.
He also feels like he's like throwing people all over the place. Like he's controlling himself and others at the same time.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive Panther, especially in comparison to OG Panther, who is a little bit more rounded, probably more on the defensive side than aggressive.
Absolutely.
But very nice. So he does come with a new leadership. It is Strength of the Ancients. It is a Wakandan leadership, clearly. Once per turn, when an allied character pushes an enemy character, if that character contacts a terrain feature during the push, it suffers 1 damage. Yeah, it's not the best thing in the world, but it is a very interesting leadership.
Yeah, it definitely feels like you get to plink with a bunch of characters that are on the Wakandan team, and I think it'll work in the long run.
Yeah, so many people on Wakanda have pushes. I think the thing that's really going to stop this leadership from being great is the fact that competitive boards tend to be a little bit on the lighter side of terrain.
Yes.
And it's not as dense, right?
Yeah.
Take us to his superpowers.
Yeah, he's got for 3 power. He's got Bound. Place this character within 2, then make the next Vibranium Spear attack that he makes this activation adds 2 dice to the attack roll. You can only use it once per turn. And then he's got a reactive superpower for 2 power. After an attack targeting this character is resolved, if the attacking character is within 3 of this character may use a superpower, roll 4 dice for each wild and crit. In the result, the attacking character suffers 1 damage. And then he's got
his obnoxious ability.
Yes, this is probably his real leadership. When another allied character is dealt damage by an enemy effect, this character gains 1 power.
Oh man, okay, yeah. So Yeah, the bound is very, very straightforward. I do like that it says in this activation, so you can actually bound as the last thing you do before hitting up like a Wakanda Forever, for
Yes.
instance, which I really do like. And you get those extra dice during the Wakanda Forever attack, which is cool. Royal Rebuke is whatever.
It's fine.
It's Counter Strike.
The nice thing is
Yep.
because you're gaining so much power from the next ability, you're using it all the time, or you can use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, I might as well spend the 2 power. I'm gonna get it back.
Yeah, so let's talk about Defender of Obnoxious. All right.
Yes, yes.
The game we played, he never had less than 6 power.
I feel like most times that he started his activation, he had 10 power. If not 10 power, he was pretty close.
He had a lot of power, and he has great ways of spending that power.
Yes, yeah. It kind of makes me sad about the bounds only giving Vibranium Spear stuff because.
That'd be busted if it wasn't.
Well, but he's going to be using it all the time, and he doesn't need to use. He doesn't need a builder to get to the next part. He just really needs to spend power, and yeah, I feel like cards that you're going to use to spend power to do a thing, he's going to be very good with.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about King T himself, and I guess let's talk about his cards actually, because there are some tactics cards that he can make use of here. As I get my hand in here, so we have Bass Blessing, and we have Trial by Combat here.
All right.
So you take one, I'll take the other.
Okay, I'm going to do Trial by Combat.
Sure.
So it's an active card. An allied Wakanda character with an active leadership ability may play this card during its activation. Choose an enemy character with an active leadership ability within 3 of the character that played this card. The chosen character and the character that played this card roll dice equal to their remaining stamina. The leadership ability of the character that has rolled fewer crits, hits, and wilds results becomes inactive for the remainder of the round.
Thematically, I really like it. In practice,
So for me, there are a couple leaderships that are like really powerful, and knocking them offline is fine. I don't think this does anything to something like the Guardians of the Galaxies thing because it gives the tokens out at the start of the power phase, and I think it's the tokens that have the ability to give them the rerolls.
I think you're right. I think we'd have to look into that. But something like Steve's leadership, or Sam's, or something like that.
Yeah, especially if you hit someone early on, leader versus leader. Now, the practicality of putting your leader into another leader who obviously has like support leadership abilities kind of is a bad spot.
Yeah, it's one of those cards. To be honest, I don't see it replacing any of the other Wakanda cards that we typically bring.
And that's the thing. Like if this was in Defenders, boom, I'm going to play that every time. I have one ability, one card, I'm going to take that card.
Yeah, but it's not replacing a Wakanda Forever or Spirit of Wakanda, or if you're bringing in Baku, Jabari, Chieftain, or anything like that. There's just so many good Wakanda cards. I don't see this one supplanting any of them.
Yeah, it could be cool to take in a nice casual game, and sometimes it's going to be backbreaking, but most of the time it's for until the end of the round, and you have to do it earlier in the round to really give it the most gas that it can get.
So next up, we got Bass Blessing, and this is an active action card. So one quick note on this one, it has been ruled in the forums that if it costs an action, it has to be the active player character spending that action, because an inactive player cannot spend an action. So T'Challa, so it can be used on either Black Panther, can spend 3 to play this card, and they make an attack. It is a Power of the Mother God. Range 3, 6 dice. It is before damage is dealt, place this character within range 1 of the target character. On a double wild, you get Hunter's Joy. Choose an enemy character within 2 of the targeted character that has not been targeted by Power of the Mother Guard this turn. This character makes a Power of the Mother Guard attacking the chosen character. Now, something very important to note here. There is no stipulation on how many times that can trigger.
Yes.
The only stipulation is you can't attack the same character with it.
Yeah.
So for 3 power, if you're getting those wilds off, you can daisy chain through an entire line.
Yeah. You really want to have some sort of dice manipulation to get to your double wild effects here, but yeah, I really like this. I wish it could be used with Steve 3's thing, but yeah. But it's locked to Wakanda, so you're definitely not doing it.
Yeah, I really dig it. Again, though, I'm not sure if it replaces any of the existing Wakanda cards. I think it's very situational. If it goes off, awesome. You're going to be living the dream with it. But I think if it doesn't go off, you're just kind of...
And it's just a 6 dice attack. It doesn't have anything else really going on. You get a place, which is cool. He's going to bounce around a whole bunch of times.
Now, if he has some hammers.
Ooh, all right.
Spend 4 power for that? all of a sudden becomes like 7, maybe 8 dice attacks.
I don't hate that. I
Yeah,
don't hate
I
that.
don't
So
I don't hate that either. I think that could be a fun little dragon to chase.
the other cool thing about it is it's a mystic attack, and that's
Oh,
not
geez, yeah,
something
sorry, I forgot to mention that.
that's not common in Wakandan attacks.
I don't
So
think Wakanda has any mystic.
uh, there's another way of having a mystic attack in Wakanda that's strictly Wakanda, but we'll talk about that another time.
Okay, so that's King T. Where do you see him in the game? Like, is he strictly Wakanda, or do you see him being splashed anywhere?
Well, his Defender of Wakanda is not locked to just Wakandan characters or him being the leader. Uh, I can see him potentially being a battery for wide teams. He is still 5 threats, so it's
So I'm not gonna lie. One of my first thoughts is battery for Helios laser.
oh my goodness, yes, of course. The worst thing is he'll spend the 10 power into the Helios laser. By the time it's his turn to activate,
He'll have it back.
oh hey, I have 10 power. This is great.
So that was my initial thought, but I don't want to be the guy that's just like, well, I play shield, so everything goes in shield. So I was actually thinking defenders. Into a Daredevil Defenders.
Yep.
Because his Vibranium Spear, not only would you get the Defenders reroll, but if you're within range 2, you're also getting the natural 2 dice reroll.
Yes.
So you have an insane level of consistency with those dice. And I know rerolls on rerolls are diminishing returns,
Of
but
course.
it's insane consistency.
Yes.
It's insane, and I do really like that.
I don't know. I'm not necessarily thinking about this fully, but sort of like Cable's leadership with this as well. I feel like Cable being able to move people around could be good, but I think at the end of the day, I really do also like his leadership for doing little pushing things. It's just, can you guarantee you're going to have the terrain to make it work?
And I think that's the big thing. And you have to make sure you have the characters that can get those pushes in.
Yeah.
I think to really take advantage of it, bringing a character that can push out of activation
Yep.
is really kind of nice. I love the idea of Blob. Like, obviously that's not unique to me, but
Of course.
Blob being able to push somebody off, haha, that tickles.
Well, and we always have our friend Shuri. She has a lot of really good pushes and she has the rerolls to help support.
I mean, if you want to go really tall, you could also pair him with Claw. So whenever a character ends an activation within range 3 of Claw, Claw can spend 2, push that character away.
Yep.
So there are ways of doing it. I think it's really interesting, but it does feel a little bit more on the cute side than effective.
Yeah. And someone could make us eat our words on this, but like I do feel like while he can send people flying medium, I think that you're not going to have a lot of control over everyone, and that's the real problem with this.
Yeah. So that is King T'Challa. I think overall, like, my final thoughts on it, I'll give my final thoughts, then you give yours. My final thoughts is I really like him as a character. I think he has a really great suite of tech here. I know a lot of people were down on the fact that he has no real defensive tech.
Yeah.
Like, Royal Rebuke is the closest thing, and that's not really defensive tech. To be honest, 4s across the board with 7/7 stamina, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing, if someone's taking him down that easily, that means they're spiking really heavily anyway, and he's probably not doing a whole lot to withstand against it. And you're still probably looking at least 2, if not 3 attacks minimum, even with really good above average dice rolls, right?
Yep.
So I think it's actually fine that he doesn't have that defensive tech, and I like that it gives him a profile and identity different than the other Panther.
I agree.
Yeah.
My big thing is, as a 5 threat, there's a bunch of 5 threats in the game that probably outclass him overall, but I think he's going to find a good home in certain lists, and I'm now worried about Helios lasers in the future. So
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there we go. That is King T'Challa. Share your thoughts below. Let us know what you think about this guy, and if you feel we missed the mark or anything like that. And of course, if you guys want to support the channel, hit up patreon.com/AegisBrand Studios. You get access to our community Discord and help the channel thrive and grow. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Happy wargaming.